Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a new episode of North American Harness Update. We got all three guys here tonight: Ray, Mike, and myself, Rod Elms Jr. Ray, it's been a while since we've seen you, man. Where you been?
Well, when the virus came a hunting, I had to go into the bunker for about 2.5 months, 3 months, and I mean, like a lot of people, it was a time of self-reflection and of trying to figure out like where do I go from here? What do I do with this and all that such? And thankfully, I wasn't one of like the 1.5 million people who ended up divorcing their significant other as a result of quarantine. But it's been a spirit journey for me, and just like describing it like that, I know that half the people out there go, "What the hell is he talking about?" I'm in good spirits though. I can safely say that for the first time in 6 years of doing this show, I don't feel I don't feel like it's a burden to come on. I don't feel this extra sort of stress or unhappiness. Because that was a lot of what I was going through running this show, and it's been a relief that having these couple of months off to just figure out where it is I'm trying to go as I come up to my 21st birthday. That it's a new feeling. It certainly is.
Well, I gotta say, your 21st birthday is coming up in, what is it, 2 weeks?
It's about 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, in 2 weeks' time, you're going to be 21. Are you planning a celebration of alcohol and a bag of chips?
Hookers and blow?
The plan is just, I mean, my birthday's always just been a Monday or a Wednesday or something like that. So far, no real significant plans. The girlfriend and I are going to get together, maybe go on a hike if the sun is not melting the earth. Outside of that, I don't know. I'm a boring man. I went through this whole quarantine. I look no different than how I started. I don't have much going on in my life.
No, I think your hair's a little bit bigger than what it was before.
It is a little bigger.
Well, that's I mean that's a whole different story, but
But anyways, back to racing. We're going to talk some racing tonight. How about that? Starting at Woodbine Mohawk Park, coming into let's see,
it's a racing show.
Race
You guys
number
really
7.
changed it since I was gone.
No, it's the same thing, unfortunately.
Okay.
Race number 7, we're going to talk about the late pick 4, 20-cent minimum over at Woodbine Mohawk Park. And it starts race number 7. Mike, this is your track. Why don't you start us off? Give us something good.
Okay. I was just watching race 5 as it's being completed, so I'm going to wait and do that with 2 trying to find a way to win and 5 getting bottled up in the stretch.
Well, you're going to lose, apparently. So I'll go ahead and start it off then, since...
The 5-1 race, okay. Go ahead.
That sounds like a spiritual struggle of itself.
I can go.
Okay, go ahead, Mike.
All right, so it's 15 to 20 claimers in race 7, and I'm 3 deep in there, and I would expect these are going to be probably the 3 bad horses. My top pick's the 5 Buddha Blue Chip, who really had no chance last time in a condition race versus similar horses, and rally after 2 straight wins, rallied from 13 back to be second. Gets a far better post here. McClure sticks. And I think the horse he has to beat, of course, is the 9 Quan Blue Chip. But that horse was claimed out of his last start after 2 straight front end crush jobs. This horse has been very good, but this post, I think, does compromise his chances just a little bit and could set it up for the 3 EL Wild Spirit. has rallied twice in a row, fits at this level, and just really needs a trip. I like the post switch to inside. I think Jameson fits this horse extremely well. It's probably going to be one of those three. So I'm 357 or 359. I'm sorry to start.
We're a little bit similar, but I want to turn it over to Ray and see what Ray's got here, because Ray hasn't handicapped a race for quite a while.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what direction the horses are supposed to go in anymore. Whether it's forward, backwards, or what. And judging by the program, it's not like many of these horses know which way either. I looked at this race and it just reminded me of like all the times I would handicap a race and like you feel like you're looking at it wrong because you're ending up on the same horses and you just think like this is too obvious. Because I'm in the exact same boat as Mike here with the 3, 5, and the 9. It's tough to see how like Tragically Zip or Beach Baby B or Leader Tonight find a way into the race just off of the few lines that they've been able to collect since everything started to open again. And just because of that, I feel like I'm going with 3 wrong answers, even though the 3, 5, and 9 are real viable contenders in this race. So I'm just curious if there's someone I'm missing, because a lot of these horses, maybe Leader Tonight, but even off that last race where he had the pylon trip, he should have had a bit more in the finish. I mean, he gave chase to finish 4th, but I mean, I don't. It's not enough where I can feel like, yeah, Leader Tonight might win the race, and so I'm 359. I'm not real confident about it.
I use a little bit more than you guys do. I'm going 5 deep here to start the sequence, starting with the 1 Tragically Zip. I do think that this horse with the inside should get away better than he did last time. I mean, he got away 6th, and then they went a slow half. He just had no chance there to close into those horses on the lead after that half. So I think Sylvain's going to put this horse in the mix early. You look back 4 starts ago, 5 starts ago, 6 starts ago, this horse was a dead front end horse, all speed all the time. He's been ducked a couple times. I think we see speed again. The 3 EL Wild Spirit, very obvious after a good race last time. His last 2 starts have been really good, but he is a little bit pace dependent, and he is a dead closer, so that gives you a little bit of a disadvantage there. The 4 Leader Tonight, you mentioned, Ray, that this horse is possible. I think he's possible if he can get back into form. Last week, he did get in traffic trouble, and I think that is going to be the key tonight, is getting him some clear sailing to be able to hit the ticket. The 5 Buddha Blue Chip is a price in the book, but I don't think he's going to be anywhere near 8 to 1 in this race. He's very obvious to me, and we all have him. And then the 9 Quan Blue Chip, 9 to 5 morning line. He's razor sharp right now. He's going to be firing toward the lead. Must use. So I am 1, 3, 4, 5, and 9 there. Race number 8 is a trot. Now winners of 1 for 3-year-olds or 7,000 lifetime. Full field of 10. And reminder, the 10 starts in the 2nd tier at Woodbine Mall.
Wait, he does? God,
Yes.
I've been gone for way too long.
Yes, the 10 starts in the 2nd tier. But Ray, we'll let you start this one off. What do you got?
So what's fun about these races is a lot of these horses are struggling like me, and so I can relate to them in that way of just like trying to find like which horse might be able to just crawl over the finish line first. The 3 Spartan General's pretty obvious. You do like to see that kind of speed that he showed last out while gaining ground, because it makes it seem like the horse is capable of going that fast as opposed to just trying to keep up to go that fast. Those are 2 completely different things. You see that kind of a lot with qualifiers and handicapping qualifiers, but in this case, Spartan General's coming in off a really good race. One that I think he's going to get over bet on, and whether he's over bet and wins, then I'm not sure how much that matters. But outside of that, I'm kind of interested in Craving You, shipping in from Georgian, after showing a lot of speed, just kind of faltering in the final strides to finish second by less than a length. Still went a really good mile though, and I got to imagine that even though she couldn't sustain the lead on the smaller track, maybe going to the bigger track might not be too terrible of a thing as she makes her third start as a 3-year-old. And other than her, Meadow Branch Noble went a really good race last out, kicking home to finish second by less than a length. He came home 27-1. A lot of people are gonna just see that final quarter and think the horse is a must bet. However, I would hope that he shows a bit more speed off the gate, because you can come home as quickly as you want, but if you're 20 lengths off the lead at the start, then you're just playing catch up and you're not necessarily going to win. So maybe he does show a bit more speed now that he has a flat mile under him. So I'm going to go 2-3-7.
I'll go next, I guess, because I'm not using any other horses besides what you use, Ray. 2, 3, and 7 for me as well. I don't have a lot to add there. I do like that Craving You had a really good race on the lead last time. The only key with this horse is staying flat. Inside post, we should see him be aggressive again, but the 1 should be aggressive as well. So there's a little bit of mix going on in this race, which I think could set it up for the 7, Meadow Branch Noble, to be closing in on him late. So that's really all I got there, 2, 3, and 7. Mike, are you doing anything different?
Yeah, I'm going to keep the 3. If you look at this horse's lines, the last 2 races faced Hot Wheels and Hayek, both very well met, very big favorites. And, those were 2 fast races, 56 and 4, 2 back. 53 and 3 for a nominators of 1 here is extremely fast. And this horse, ended up closing in 28, kicked, in a 55 and 3 mile, himself. I don't really think there's any horse that can. If you look at some of these others, they haven't been facing the kind of fields that this horse has been facing. So the only other horse I could see using would be the 8, just off the driver switch, and comes out of facing a couple horses like Pemberton and Stravinsky. But I didn't double the ticket. Key to 3, and feel pretty confident. You're just going to have to take 3 to 5.
Bold statement there, Mike. Yeah, I'm not with you on that. But good luck. We can both move on.
Bold statement to key the 3 to 5 favorite. That's a.
Well, it's better than spreading 3 deep and tripling the ticket when this horse is going to win by 5.
I'm just saying, it'd be more bold to single a 50 to 1 shot, but I've also been gone for 4 months.
Well, I didn't think the race was that much of a lock, but.
I mean, you'll think that, but then you and I will both watch Spartan General probably stroll to the finish.
Yeah, probably.
I've seen enough races in my life to know that I'm probably wrong.
Yeah, he probably will. But it is Christophe. It is Christopherou with a young horse, so he might sit back and teach him again. We'll see. Horse is good though. I mean, I get it, but just not my kind of single.
I mean, Hayek went a really good mile in that race. Actually, Hayek came back to finish in the second. He almost trotted. He trotted like 54 and 4 in a gold at Georgia the other night, if I'm not mistaken. So
That's a nice horse.
Hayek came back to win after that race, so that's a good line also. Why didn't we just? Why didn't I single the 3? Am I dumb? I'm dumb. Okay. I'm gonna stick with 2-3-7, but I still think I'm dumb.
Yeah. Oh well. I think we all have that in us a little bit anyway. Moving on to race number 9. This is a field of 7, short field here, and I thought this race was 2 horses only, very chalky. Starting with the 5 GP Dreamin', coming off of 2 straight wins, 2 for 2 this year, 3 for 4 lifetime. Horses started very, very sharp. Kicked home in 27 and change first start out of the box off a slow half, and then last week kicked home in 28 and a piece, and won very handily. Was well in hand, never really had to get after the horse to go anymore. So I think this horse is ready and could be the slight upsetter over the likely favorite of the 7, Julish's Magic, who has early speed but does tend to make breaks, which that's a little concerning. And Jody took the 5 over the 7, so that's why I think you have to use both of them here. So 5-7 for me.
I'm curious what Mike has to say about Julish's Magic, because that last line doesn't look that good.
No, it wasn't good. I'm using, but I'm not. I'm not crazy. For one, she never took a nickel at the windows. Now she wasn't against Love by the Masses, who was a nice horse, and that horse might be favored in here. That horse just won on Saturday night, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know. I'm not crazy about that line, and she seemed to get better as racing went on last year. And, like Rod said, Jody picked off. I think you have to use the two in the race. PL Not Science, who looks like the most improved of all of these, especially off those two Tioga lines. That last one went 55 and 3. Now, it was 1 to 9 in the race, but even still, you rarely see a horse win by that big. This horse was second in a Peaceful Way elimination last year, third in the final against legitimate horses. Now you get Drury driving, an inside post, a 7 horse that looks vulnerable, a 5 horse that yes has a chance but hasn't faced nearly what this horse has faced in her lifetime. So I think it's 2-5-3.
Yeah, I feel like you also gotta give PL Nut Science some credit, finishing third last season in the Peaceful Way, which I'm pretty sure was that the race. No, Julie's Magic won the Super Final. She didn't win the Peaceful Way, but I would rank the Peaceful Way as a much tougher race for the Ontario Sire Stakes Super Final. As much as my bosses in Ontario probably would not like to hear that. I'm sorry. Your studs they're not just like PA kind of studs, if you catch my drift. But PL Nut Science is a horse I would rather take than Julie's Magic. I use GP Dreamin' as well, just because those last 2 wins seem pretty decent. She was the favorite. She won as the favorite. That's stuff you like to see. So it's tough to envision a scenario where she doesn't win or doesn't perform up to speed. But the only other real viable horse for me is PL Nut Science. I'm sorry, Julie's Magic. I can't use. I cannot use, especially at 9 to 5 morning line. That last race is just too bad. I need to see more from her.
I don't blame you. It's one of those horses. 9 to 5 morning line. It's tough to overlook her all the way, but I get why you do. But again, this is a race where it could be dead chalk or anybody. So, with that, we're going to move on to the final leg, which is race number 10. Now winners at 2 or 16-5.
Did you just say nobody could win that race?
No, I said or anybody. Anybody.
It could be Julie's Magic, or just no one's going to cross the finish line.
Yeah. I hope they all cross the finish line.
That could happen, actually.
Yeah.
They just forget where they're going.
Yeah, we don't want that scenario. Race number 10, 4-year-old and under, downwinners at 2 or 16-5 lifetime. Here you got a full field of 10. And Mike, close out the sequence for us. What do you got?
3 deep. The 5 Siddhartha looks solid on paper with his last 2 kicks, 26 2 back, 25 and 1 last time against horses like Rhythm and Motion, Indictable Hanover. Those are horses that are pointing to the North America Cup. There's no such horses in this race, and I would expect to see a much better, effort here. 6 wins last year, decent post, but that 8 to 1 morning line there's no chance of the horse being anywhere close to that. The 8 Unique Beach just had a 6-length blowout and an almost 1 on the comeback, and you got good connections here. I would think that this horse is going to flash speed again coming off that last line, but has to face tougher horses. And then the 10, My Bettersdale, who raced well, I thought, in a very fast race. That was on Saturday night. That was a grassroots 51 and 3. This horse went in that race, and the horses that won were close to the front. This horse was stuck way far behind and made a move very late to get into it. So classy enough, good enough, fast enough, I think, to beat these with the right setup. 5, 8, 10.
I'm very similar to you in this race. I think the only difference I've got the horse from the rail, the 1, Lucid Dreams, coming off a win, sharp form, left and then got the 2-hole. Raced very well there in the 3rd lifetime start. The step up in class doesn't really bother me with this horse because the closing speed is there. And I think the horse is going to be up close and can possibly outkick everybody if left alone on the lead or in the 2-hole even. Should be right there. The 5, Siddhartha, very obvious after 25 and 1/4. Those are very rare. 25 and 1 last quarter. You don't see those very often at all. So that horse is a must use and fair value. The 8, Unique Beach, obvious, coming off a big time win last time, making 2 moves to win that race, and plays again for sure. Just the outside post is the only negative looking at Unique Beach. And then the 10, My Better's Dell, another closer, race well in the grassroots, chasing Mission Bay, who's very, very tough, and looks the part. Just has to probably work out a trip and stay in range to be able to beat these. So I'm 1, 5, 8, 10 there to close it out. Ray, close it.
It doesn't look like close. I don't got anything open.
Close your pop bottle.
Okay, you should have been more specific. I don't think Unique Beach is going to have too much of a problem from that outside post, because it looks like every horse to his inside doesn't really have the same amount of gate speed that he's capable of. And also, the fact that he won by 6 lengths in that last race as the favorite just makes me think that he was under wraps and probably can go a lot better than he did in that race, especially that being his first race off the bench. The counterpoint is the possibility that maybe that race was an outlier and he bounces into this race. That's why it's tough for me to single him, because I was just sitting here wondering, is Unique Beach a single? Because it looks like he's just going to walk away with it. But Lucid Dreams is a great bet from this spot too. Just because he won off that pocket trip last out, and he's the only other horse in this race that looks like he's going to be put towards the front. So if he just sits pocket to Unique Beach, he most likely can at least threaten that horse through the stretch to maybe win the race. Siddhartha, you can, again, this is another example of you can come home at 25 and 1, but you're still going to finish 5th by 7 lengths. This horse has to sit a lot closer to the front.
I'm telling you right now, this horse is going to be a lot closer.
Well,
and way better horses.
And also, too, he has post 5 as opposed to post 8, so I imagine he's not just going to duck to the back of the pack like he would from a more outside post. But considering that they went to the quarter 28 and he was 17 lengths off the lead, that was also just like that's a mind-boggling place to sit. All that aside, though, if Siddhartha sits closer, which from this post he should, he can come firing home as well. The only interesting ones, Rod, you touched on My Better's Dell, who I thought was kind of interesting, although benefited from a really quick pace to close and finish 3rd, so I'm not really too inclined to use that one. Instead, I want to throw on Machfias. This horse intrigues me, even if he doesn't win, because last year in the Harvest Series, the horse was kind of okay, showed some speed in one of the prelims back in mid-October, albeit he faltered and finished 4th, and then just kind of capped the season. But then came back at Grand River and put in a sneakily good effort coming from the back of the pack in a pretty quick mile over there. I just gotta wonder if this horse really improves shifting back to the bigger track, and maybe that he's matured since last racing here in the Harvest Series. So I'm gonna throw Machfias on as just a bit of a fun price play that most likely will finish 5th by 8 lengths. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 5, 8 to cap.
So give us your whole ticket.
Oh God, I don't. Okay. First leg 359 with 237 with 25 with 1, 2, 5, 8. I don't know. Was that $21? 3 by 3 by 2 by 4.
Something like
60,
that.
180, 360 times 4. 1440.
1440.
1440.
That sounds correct.
Mike, what do you got?
That is correct. 359 with 3 with 257 with 5, 8, 10. It's 27 for a buck. $5.40 for 20 cents.
And my ticket is 13459 with 237 with 57 with 15810. $24 for 20 cents. that's it for Mohawk. Guess where we're going next?
All right, goodbye, Mohawk.
Running
Next
Aces!
time.
We got some Running Aces action coming up. We're going to talk about the Pick
Running Aces.
5. Pick 5 for tomorrow.
Nice
Tomorrow, special racing day. They're not racing on the 4th of July. They're racing tomorrow.
There's like a city ordinance or something.
So, tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, is the post at Running Aces. And we're going to talk about the Pick 5. $3,600 and change. The carryover, 20-cent minimum. Jackpot, Pick 5. It's the last 5 races on the card. They only have 8 tomorrow. So, they're going to go quick. Don't miss out. Let's start the sequence out with Mike. Tell us what you got in leg number 1, which happens to be race number 4.
Like
race 4. I was single to the 1 in race 4. This dog won't hunt. Faced similar last time from an inside post, coming around there as the favorite. Basically facing the trip behind this horse last time and couldn't really make any impression. I didn't see any reason why this horse won't get to front and take him around again. So going short here in the first race with the 1.
Yeah, I actually totally agree with you there. I don't see anybody except the 1 on the lead. I don't see anybody getting close to him. And, you know, the second choice in the race is going to be the 2, who sat the 2-hole to this horse last week and couldn't keep pace. So, tough for me to go anywhere else besides the 1 horse. So, I'm going to single him also. Ray, are you doing anything else?
My instinct tells me to go 1-2 because I've seen many a horse like the 1 come into a race and get hammered down at the window, and then what happens is the horse just does not show up per usual. And the only other horse that could pose a threat in this race is the 2. So assuming that maybe the 1 doesn't just gets the front and then the 2 sits in the pocket. Maybe 2 has a good day. It's his second start over the track. He came in from Hawthorne, and then before that was at a bunch of other places. So maybe he just needed to go around the track. I don't know these things. So I'm going to go 1-2.
Ray adds a little bit of value. A little bit of value added. It's not. No, I guess it's okay.
Come back.
I guess it's okay.
Hey, at least I didn't use the 4. I thought about using the 4 in that race because she's got some interesting races. But it's probably not a great spot for her. Put Queen of Marks on your horse to watch list. That one's going to win sometime soon.
Yeah, I don't mind that horse at all in there, actually. But leg number 2 of the Pick 5 is race number 5 tomorrow.
Oh my God!
With only 8 races, it goes quick. This is a pretty competitive group, I think. I'll start this one off with the 3, Sinalta Diesel. He's got some early speed. I think he's going to use that early speed, and he might end up getting a pocket trip here. And he's going to be a decent price. I have to use him just on those factors alone. The 4, Luke's Cowboy. This one is as obvious as they come. 2 straight wins. He's going to be a short price, but he's a must-use. The 5, Lincoln. Now, this is my top pick in the race. Last week, he was too far back. He had no chance from that spot, and this looks like an easier spot, shorter field. He's going to be closer, and this horse, when he goes fast. He's one of those types that when he's not good, you can really tell he's not good. But when he gets good, he races like he did last week, and then he pops a big mile after that. And I think this is that week. He's going to be the right price as well, because Luke's Cowboy is going to take all the money. So I'm 3, 4, and 5 in leg number 2. Who wants to go next? Fight over it.
I got a wrist split.
Ray's not fighting, but he's going to go second anyways.
Well, see, I've been doing a little too much weeding around the house, so I must have thrown the wrist out of alignment because there was just a really tough weed in the ground. So yeah, we have to really get at the roots because that's where the weeds kind of
yank
dig
it
into the dirt.
You were playing with the root?
I was yeah. You gotta really like get down to the root, so then you can yank it out.
Yanking the root.
And I imagine that the brute force that came with the weed eventually unearthing itself must have like popped my wrist off the joint. I'm lucky that my hand is still attached.
So did you smoke weed first and then yank the root, or what happened?
What? No, it was.
Seems like it would be a slower process.
It was crabgrass. You don't smoke crabgrass.
That people do.
It doesn't have the same taste. I can tell you that much. It's not going to taste like a lobster roll. What am I talking about? Oh, the 5th race.
Yes.
Oh, like two. It comes after race 4. Why didn't you tell me this, Ron?
I did.
You should have said it louder. The 2, Chief Saratoga is kind of interesting. Almost as interesting as seeing Pat Marriott running aces. that was one of the weirder things I've seen in quarantine so far. But at last race, it looked like that he was just getting chased the entire time to keep up through those quick fractions. So he finished 8 by 10 lengths. I'll give him a mulligan for that. He probably was just being used up too soon. It draws into a race where they're probably not going to go that fast. So I got to imagine the kind of effort he put in would be much more similar to the race he went first time back off the layoff, except better because now it's his 3rd time back off the layoff. Sinalta Diesel put in a good race too, sitting at the pylons the entire time, just closing to finish 4th. Hopefully does a bit more than that if he wants to win, but other than that, should be an interesting price play to use in this sequence. Everyone's going to use Luke's Cowboy because they see that he won 2 times in a row, and they'll just think that the monkey will dance if they clap. And you touched on Lincoln off of that last race. My one thing is, again, another one. You can sit 20 lengths off the lead. You can come home really fast. But that doesn't mean you're going to win. Lincoln has to be closer. That's all he has to be. I am less inclined to use Lincoln because he's this big of a closer, and you have a bunch of horses that are going to be sitting up towards the front that can kick home pretty well. That will almost kind of offset Lincoln to get a minor check, in any sort of like probable outcomes that you try to run. But there is that off chance he could come flying home and maybe win. So I'm going to go 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm leaving it up to chance, except for the 1 and the 6. I wish them well in all of their endeavors. It's a no for me.
Well, Ray's taken all but 2 there, but Mike, what do you have?
I'm 3 deep. I mean, the 4 is pretty obvious. Off 2 straight wins and a middle pack post. I would imagine he'll be close to the pace. The 5's a use. Just off that last race. I mean, I thought that was a decent mile there. Now 3rd back. It's racing a little bit, above usual level, but the short field I think helps keep him closer, and could get a little bit of a setup depending on what the inside horses do. And then the 6, which Ray doesn't use, but I am using because if you look back, whoa. June of last year,
Using the 6?
yeah,
You're ridiculous. My God.
This horse won 2 races here in June last year. Yes, that was a year ago, but probably needed the the last race. Now drops to a claimer. This horse is lightly raced to begin with. Only 5 starts last year. Has 8 wins and 33 starts. This is the lowest level this horse has seen in a while. So I'll see. If the horse gets away from the gate, has a chance. 4, 5, 6.
That's pretty bold. But I mean, you're using 2 horses that I'm using, that Ray's using. So the pick on the 6 there is.
You know that feeling in the office room when someone farted and everyone just smells it?
No.
A great feeling.
That's kind of the feeling I have right now hearing you use the 6.
A great feeling?
Just that feeling like
just that it stinks.
Everyone smells it and they go, uh-oh. Oh.
Yeah, but what if you're the guy that actually dealt it?
Then your face should be flushing. You should look like a Japanese person that just consumed 90% alcohol. That's an anatomy joke. A lot of them don't have the enzymes to break down alcohol, so they'll actually flush. It's a genetic thing. I learned this in a neurology class.
Odd thing to know. Leg number 3 of this pick 5
It won't come into use ever.
at Running Aces is race number 6. And, Mike, we'll let you start this one off. You haven't started a leg off yet.
Yeah, carry your weight.
So this is numbers of 8,500 last four, so it's pretty close to the bottom level. I think that they right here. I'm 3 deep. The one prodigal, big drop from numbers of 3,000 last four into this spot. Kicked 27 and 4 last time at a big price. Now draws inside. I mean, he doesn't necessarily like to win all that much, especially recently. But in this field, really, I think he's probably going to be one of the top choices. The 3 Swagasaurus Rex tends to show up here at Aces. Drops down now. It's a pretty big drop for this horse, and when he's good, he's definitely capable of beating these, and he's third back, so I'll use him. And then the 6 OK Icon, another one dropping, third back, has kicked home well for a couple starts, and probably is going to get a better setup. 1-3-6.
Ray, go ahead. Are you going anywhere different?
I don't use Swagasaurus X. I don't think the horse is coming off some good miles. Other than that, I agree on Prodigal and on OK Icon. Those two get my stamp of approval. There it is.
That's it? 1 and 6?
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah. I gave the stamp. I banged my wall.
Okay.
Not hard enough to like dent a hole in it. I got some holes in my wall. In case you're interested.
No, we're not interested in the holes in your wall.
Apparently.
We're all pretty much on the same page here. Ray and I are identical. The 1 and the 6, Prodigal, I think is a use. Now, see, I'm not using Prodigal on my pick 4. I'm only using him in the pick 5.
Why?
Because my
you
best.
You don't think he can win in the pick 4?
Well, no, my best bet of the day happens to be the 6, OK Icon. This horse
Sounds
last
like
week.
He's not your best bet then.
Yeah.
he is my best bet. Last week he had 0 chance. He's going to be at least fair value in this spot. You're not going to get 1 to 5 on him. You're getting at least 8 to 5 on this horse, and I think this is the spot. This horse is going to win. This is a shorter field. He's going to be way closer than he was last time. And if you go back and watch this horse's replay, it was just brutal, the trip that he got. And this is his race to lose, I think, on a huge class drop against much easier.
Can't believe it, Mike. Rod singling OK Icon in this race. That's a big move.
In the pick 4.
Huge.
In the pick 4.
It sounds like you should single him in the pick 5 too.
I might.
Yeah.
Well, then do it.
Maybe I will.
Single
God.
him in the
If he's your best bet, if you think that if it's your best bet, you gotta single him.
You should
It's the
single
law.
him in the double and in the exacta too.
Do you know how pissed everyone's gonna be if they see your pick 5 ticket and see that 6 is your best bet and you're going against him? They're gonna feel so betrayed.
Well, listen. This is a jackpot bet, and we're trying to get the jackpot. Okay.
Well, then well, yeah, I know this.
Spread out everywhere else.
I know this. That's why I'm giving you guys the ticket I won't bet. I know how this works.
Right.
Somebody else did that once.
I don't bet my ticket so someone else can win it. That's the way I go.
Race number 7 is leg number 4 of this pick 5, jackpot pick 5. These are fillies and mares, and these are, this is a good field here, but I'm going to go with a slight upset in this race with the 6, Gricona. She barely gets the edge. Last week, she had an impossible trip. This is going to be, it's a shorter field. She's going to be closer. If they run at Velocity Layla at all, Gricona is going to be the horse that picks up the pieces and goes by them all. And then the 7 Velocity Layla went to the lead last week and never looked back, just crushed that field. Basically the same field she's facing in this race. Must use, she's going to be a huge favorite, but try to beat her with somebody. I think there's several that you could possibly use here. If you can afford to hit the all button here, do it, because if one horse goes at velocity Layla, the whole race is gonna just flip upside down. So,
that sounds dangerous.
Take a chance.
I hope everyone's wearing helmets for that.
Take a chance and see what you can do. Ray, who do you got?
So the favorite looks pretty good in this race. I do say that. Only one other horse really interested me, and it wasn't Greekona. It was Frisky's Angel to the inside. I liked that race 2 starts ago, even though she quit to finish 4th. The one downside is that she shows that speed, but she's probably going to have to show that kind of speed while sitting the pocket to Velocity Layla, and whether or not she's going to falter off that trip is tough to gauge. But I'm giving her credit too for that last mile, because she had a bad draw. She had it all down. I don't know the lyrics to Bad Day. I was trying to do like she had a bad day. She wore it all down. She sang a sad song just to turn it around. If she turned it around, she might have gotten farther forward. But now gets the inside, so all she has to do is just kind of push off the gate, sit on Velocity Layla's helmet, and then try and go by in the final steps if she can. And if she can't, then it's just the 1-5 favorite who wins.
Yeah,
I'm
probably.
trying!
Well, you don't have to really try too much in this race, but Mike.
I mean, you're trying to hit the jackpot.
Yeah. Mike, are you being bold here, going with long shot, trying to hit this jackpot?
I wouldn't say I'm on too many long shots. I am 3 deep, though, in the outside 3. I agree on the 6. I think, has a much better chance third back and probably gets a better setup now. Likes to win enough. I mean, won 6 times last year. And I think gets a better setup now with the 7 and the 8. On those outside posts, I imagine that they're going to be out early again. It's just a matter of, the 7 doesn't really put a bunch of races together. I mean, that's pretty obvious. So could be vulnerable. And I really don't think that she's 1-5 in the race. She was 7.5 to 1 last time, whereas the 8 was sub even money. So I'd imagine that they'll be closer in odds, but probably closer to 2 to 1, each way. I think they're both uses. I'm 6-7 and 8.
We're all pretty much the same there in race number 7, the 4th leg of that pick 5 at Running Aces, and final leg is race number 8.
Wait, no way.
It is.
Race 8's the 5th leg?
Believe it or not,
After
Ray.
race 7?
Yeah. It's odd how that sequence goes, isn't it?
You're blowing my mind. Do the people watching know this?
I don't know. I hope they can count.
Is anyone watching? Probably not.
Yeah, they probably tuned us out already. But Ray, finish off this sequence.
Okay, so we got fillies and mares numbers of $850, which would be a class I could qualify for, if not for one important statute. I have won more than $850. Outside of that, I am too deep because I don't really like much about this race. It's tough for me to find anyone outside of Hottie on the Horizon. Adding Lasix, shipping from Fraser, where she was racing against the top class there. And even off that qualifier, I'm not too impressed with her, but I also see that Jessica Johnson's winning at a 30% clip, so I'm taking a note of that, and assuming that she knows what she's doing. With Hottie on the Horizon. Outside of her, I'm kind of interested in Peekaboo Tattoo. That was an interesting race. She went last week, totally tossing out her first start back. She drops further in class here, and I just have to think that dropping to the bottom level might be what she needs to kind of get rolling, because it seems like she's capable of going forward against this group. She just needed to go against the very weakest on the grounds here, or at least the weakest in form currently, to really wake up. 1-4.
Mike, are you any different there?
Yeah, very different. I hit the alt button here. I'm a little short in the other races, so it's hard to trust the one. I mean, the horse hasn't raced since March now, gets new connections. Is getting Lasix. Yeah, the horse could run away and hide here, but I'm gonna see if he maybe needs one. There's other horses dropping on the outside, and I just don't have a good feel for this race. I think anything can win. I don't want to use 6 out of 9. The ticket's cheap enough, and you talk about jackpots. This is a race that could separate. So all button in the last.
Well, my ticket, I'm too deep. The 4 Peekaboo Tattoo, I think it is fairly obvious. Again, here gets a driver switch and should be able to work out a good trip. It just makes sense in this spot. And then the 5 placing first, massive class drop. She's going to be the favorite probably. She's supposed to be better than what she's racing right now. I think the class drop is going to help her a ton. She's going to be up close. I think we see a very aggressive drive with her tomorrow in this race, and it's going to make or break her. I think she's kind of at that point where she's not racing well, and this is the race that she really has to wake up. So I see that probably happening, but I take Peekaboo Tattoo as well, just in case. So it's 4-5 for me there. Here's my ticket. Pick 5 at Running Aces for tomorrow. 1 with 3-4-5 with 1-6 with 6-7 with 4-5. It's $4.80 for 20 cents. Ray, give us your ticket.
Oh crap. Okay, was it 50-cent minimum? Okay,
20.
1, 2. It's 20 cents.
Yes.
Baba Kanisha. Oh my God, we're gonna eat tomorrow. Okay. 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 5 with 1, 6 with 1, 7 with 1, 4. So that's what? 2 by 4 by 2 by 2 by 2. Can someone do that math for me?
12.80.
For $1.
12.80.
Yeah, but for 12.80 for 20 cents.
Yep.
Okay, that's my ticket. Someone else bet, cause I won't.
And Mike.
Okay, so 1 with 4, 5, 6 with 1, 3, 6 with 6, 7, 8 with all. It's $48.60 for 20 cents.
And that's going to do it. If you haven't noticed, we have a new set here at North American Honda's Update.
We're using the budget well, I guess.
A couple things. We started doing some picks for Hanover on Saturdays and a pick for video for them. So you can catch those picks on the internet. Pretty good week to start last week. So caught the pick 4 last week. Been doing some work for Woodbine on their feed. All our picks, Madeline's, Woodbine, Aces, Hanover, all on the website, NAHUpicks.com, totally free, and it's brand new. So check it out.
Brand new. You have to check it out because we said so. And